Imagine for a moment that you're in the middle of your daily routine, doing what you've always done, following the same steps, the same choices, and suddenly feeling a slight disconnection from everything around you. A silent exhaustion begins to weigh on you, not a physical tiredness, but something deeper, a fatigue of the soul. It's as if something inside of you is asking for a change, for a new way of being. Have you ever wondered why life sometimes loses its flow and starts to feel mechanical, like the days are blending together without purpose? This is the moment when something changes. A silent invitation appears in the back of your mind, an opportunity to break free from the automatic patterns that have guided your actions until now. This invitation is not obvious, it doesn't come with grand signs. It's subtle, almost imperceptible. But a part of you recognizes it. Perhaps you've even been waiting for it. And suddenly, you realize you're tired of forcing life to follow a path that no longer serves you. This is the first sign that you're ready to enter creator mode. And at this point, you may be asking yourself, what is this creator mode? And why do you only feel this call now? These moments of transition happen when the natural flow of life tries to align with who you truly are. And it's not an external event, but an internal change, a realignment that begins to awaken your true passions and desires. Deep down, it's as if something inside of you knows you're ready to create, not just react. But what happens when you finally embrace this change? And more importantly, is it possible to live a life where your actions are no longer guided by what's expected of you, but by who you truly are? This is the starting point for a new journey, a journey where you break free from old patterns and start shaping your reality in a way that once seemed distant or even impossible. So today will be a journey of pure transformation, not just external, but especially internal. Before we start, I need to tell you that if you found this video, it's because you've entered creator mode. You're probably about to enter a new state of being, where the potential to create the life you've always wanted is in your hands. And that's the true essence of creator mode. As you begin to feel this inner impulse for change, a deeper process begins to reveal itself. The awakening of the deliberate creator is not something that happens all at once. It is a continuous unfolding, an invitation to look beyond the surface of life and see the subtler layers of how your actions, thoughts, and emotions shape your reality. This awakening, at its core, is the transition from a reactive life to one guided by intention. But what does that really mean? Living reactively is what most of us do, often without realizing it. We wake up, follow our routines, respond to the demands of the world, and before we know it, we're just reacting to circumstances. Work, commitments, obligations. All of this can put us on autopilot. In this state, the decisions we make often don't reflect our deepest desires, but rather what external circumstances demand of us. It's as if we're being pushed through life instead of guiding it. On the other hand, being a deliberate creator is living with intention. It's a state where your actions, decisions, and even your thoughts are shaped with clarity and purpose, not as a reaction to what's happening around you. When you awaken to this way of living, you realize that the outer world is a reflection of your inner world. What you feel, believe, and focus on begins to manifest in your reality, and this is no accident. It's the consequence of living consciously. But how do you recognize the moment when you enter this deliberate state of being? This moment can be subtle, but it's deeply transformative. It's often marked by a sense of discomfort with the life you're living, as if the old patterns no longer fit. There is a growing sense that something is missing, that the way you've been handling things is no longer sustainable. Instead of continuing to react to what the world throws at you, you begin to ask yourself, what do I really want? And that's when the transformation begins. This is the point where your true desires and passions emerge. They've always been there, but they've often been suppressed by external pressures or the need to fit into others' expectations. When you enter creator mode, these inner desires become clearer. They're no longer distant dreams, but the core of your journey. What once felt like a hidden impulse is now a driving force that guides your actions and choices. And these genuine desires are not superficial. They represent who you truly are, beyond the masks you wear in your everyday life. What awakens within you is a deep connection to your passions, the ones that bring a sense of purpose and meaning. When you start acting in alignment with these passions, the life around you responds. The universe subtly begins to align with your intentions, creating opportunities and experiences that resonate with what you truly desire. This process is powerful, but it also requires courage, because when you live deliberately, you are, in a way, letting go of certain securities that reactive patterns offer. The inertia of continuing to do what you've always done, no matter how unsatisfying, often feels safer than the unknown of creating something new. But it's precisely in this space of uncertainty that the potential for true transformation lies. Being a deliberate creator means embracing this uncertainty with the confidence that as you align your desires and passions with your actions, the path will reveal itself naturally and organically. And so, the journey of the deliberate creator continues to unfold, not as a fixed destination, but as a constant movement between intention and action, between desire and manifestation. And when you awaken to this way of being, you begin to realize that true power is not about controlling every aspect of your life, but about guiding your choices with clarity, confidence, and purpose. This subtle realization that your passions and desires are actually the driving forces behind deliberate creation opens the door to the next step, letting go of the old patterns that have governed your actions and choices for so long. After all, for the new to flourish, you must create space by releasing what no longer serves your journey. These patterns, often invisible, silently shape your daily actions and reactions, creating a reality that, in many cases, does not reflect who you truly are or what you want for yourself. But to begin creating consciously, it is crucial to understand the impact of these unconscious habits and how they prevent you from reaching your true potential. Automatic patterns arise from past experiences, limiting beliefs, and, to a large extent, social conditioning. They are the programming that you adopt without question, repeating the same behaviors because it seems easier or more familiar. However, this familiarity often keeps you trapped in a comfort zone that doesn't offer growth. Over time, these habits become so ingrained that you may not even realize you're acting from them, reacting instead of consciously choosing. And it is precisely this reactivity that prevents you from fully entering creator mode. Think of life as a river. When you're living reactively, it's as if you're caught in whirlpools, repeating the same cycles and movements without making progress. To flow freely and follow the natural course of the river, you need to free yourself from these whirlpools, the patterns that hold you back. The process of deliberate creation requires this release because it's impossible to build something new when you continue operating under old dynamics. But how do these patterns manifest exactly? Often they show up as self-sabotage, procrastination, fear of change, or even the tendency to settle in situations that make you feel safe but stagnant. Behaviors such as staying in toxic relationships, continuing in jobs that drain your energy, or avoiding challenges for fear of failure are clear examples of how these patterns work. They keep you stuck in an old version of yourself, which is no longer consistent with who you are becoming. Freeing yourself from these habits begins with self-awareness. The first step is to closely observe your daily actions and thoughts. So, ask yourself, am I acting out of habit or intention? This simple question can reveal a lot about how you're conducting your life. When you become aware of the moments when you're acting automatically, you begin to have the opportunity to make different choices. You need to understand that it's not about changing everything at once, but about creating small points of rupture where there was repetition before. Self-awareness practices can be incredibly helpful in this process. For example, daily reflective writing exercises can help you identify patterns of thought and behavior that repeat themselves. When you write down your actions, feelings, and reactions throughout the day, you begin to see more clearly where you are getting stuck in old habits. Another powerful exercise is observation meditation, where you simply observe your thoughts without judging or reacting to them. This practice can help you emotionally detach from patterns that once controlled you, creating space for new perspectives. In addition to self-awareness, it's important to take practical actions to break these cycles. If you notice you have a habit of procrastinating on projects or goals that are important to you, for example, start with small actions that counter this tendency. The simple act of taking one step, no matter how small, is already a sign that you're taking control and breaking the pattern. Another example would be gradually distancing yourself from environments or people who perpetuate behaviors you want to abandon, creating a space where you can flourish without constantly being pulled back into old patterns. Letting go of these old patterns also involves something deeper, the need to give up absolute control. We often continue to repeat behaviors because, in some way, they give us a sense of control over what is predictable. However, it's precisely by releasing this rigidity that you allow new possibilities to emerge. Deliberate creation is a balance between intention and detachment, being clear about what you want, but also allowing the process to unfold fluidly and naturally without the need to force or manipulate the results. When you begin to free yourself from these old habits, you create space for the new, and it's in this space that true creation occurs. Instead of blindly following the same paths as always, you begin to forge new ones, guided by what truly resonates with you. And over time, these new patterns of behavior, based on intention rather than reaction, take root, allowing you to live in a way much more aligned with your genuine desires and passions. This transformation is gradual, but every step you take towards awareness and intentional choice brings you closer to your power as a deliberate creator. The freedom that arises from breaking these old cycles empowers you to finally take control of your path and create a reality that truly reflects who you are. With this space created, there is an opportunity to live in flow with life, where your actions and decisions are no longer a reaction to the past, but an expression of your most authentic self. When you start to align with your true self, something amazing happens. Life simply stops being a constant struggle. The incessant effort to control every aspect of your existence dissolves, giving way to a natural flow where things seem to happen at the right time, almost intuitively. This state of alignment is what many call flowing with life, and is the exact opposite of the control mentality. Flowing doesn't mean you abdicate responsibility for your life, but rather that you act in accordance with your inner truth, allowing things to unfold without the need to force outcomes. When you stop trying to control everything, you realize that life has its own rhythm, a rhythm that perfectly adjusts to your intentions when you trust the process. It's like swimming with the current instead of fighting against it. This flow is not passivity. It's the practice of acting from a place of clarity and calm, knowing that the universe is constantly responding to your intentions. The act of letting go and trusting allows solutions and opportunities to appear more organically. Suddenly, life becomes lighter, more satisfying, and even more fulfilling because you stop wasting energy trying to force circumstances in your favor. To cultivate this state of flow, the practice of presence is essential. A practical exercise is to dedicate small moments of mindfulness throughout the day, focusing on the present without worrying about the future or the past. Another technique is meditation, where you can learn to relax and release control over the details, trusting that what needs to happen will happen at the right time. Whatever you place your attention on grows and expands, which means the reality you want to create depends directly on where you direct your mental and emotional energy. Focusing on the right things, those that truly matter to you, is what defines the quality of your experience. When your attention is scattered, life tends to feel confusing and fragmented. But when you direct your focus to what excites you and gives you purpose, the positive experience amplifies. Conscious focus is the opposite of reacting emotionally. It is the practice of responding to life from a place of clarity instead of being driven by automatic reactions. Responding consciously means choosing how to act in any situation, while reacting is just an instinctive response, often shaped by past patterns. Practices like mindfulness and setting daily intentions are powerful tools to maintain this focus. Through mindfulness, you learn to be present in every moment, becoming more aware of your choices and actions. Another powerful practice is to start your day by clearly defining your intentions, asking yourself, "What do I want to create today?" This simple reflection can direct your entire day, aligning your actions with your true desires. By applying these techniques, you strengthen your ability to create deliberately, making conscious decisions that shape your reality in a way that aligns more with what you truly want. One of the most powerful steps in the process of deliberate creation is identifying and disengaging from limiting patterns that keep you stuck in a cycle of repetition. To create consciously, it's essential to observe these patterns closely and recognize them for what they are, obstacles to your growth. So remember that identifying these patterns begins with practicing self-awareness. Ask yourself, which situations in my life provoke the same reactions repeatedly? Which thoughts limit my actions? When you observe your thoughts without judgment, you realize that many of them don't reflect reality but old mental habits. Emotional and mental detachment is the key to creating space for new ways of thinking and acting. This practice involves allowing old emotions and beliefs to fade away without clinging to them or letting them control your decisions. Breaking these cycles requires conscious and intentional decisions. Every time you choose to act differently, even in small situations, you weaken the power of limiting patterns. This opens the way for new experiences, creating a positive cycle of intentional choices that shape your reality in alignment with your true self. Another essential point in the journey of conscious creation is living in the present. When you allow yourself to fully live in the present, something powerful happens. Worries about the future and regrets about the past lose their strength. The clarity that arises from being present is transformative because it's in this space that you truly access your creative power. The now is the only moment where action and intention can manifest. When you connect with the present, you realize that the future is just a projection of your current intentions, and the past no longer has the power to define your future choices. The practice of living in the present also dissolves the fears and anxieties that often paralyze us. Fears about what may happen or expectations about how things should be create barriers that prevent us from seeing what is within our reach now, at this very moment. But when we are fully present, we dissolve these barriers, allowing our minds to open up to new possibilities without being limited by projections that haven't even materialized yet. Being present in the now paves the way for an even deeper practice, observation. When you cultivate the power of presence, you naturally start to notice how easy it is to react automatically to environmental stimuli. And that's where the wisdom of observation becomes essential. Observing before reacting transforms how you respond to daily challenges, allowing you to make more conscious decisions that align with your true intention. Instead of being carried away by immediate impulses and emotions, the practice of observation allows you to create a pause between stimulus and response. That small interval is where the power of choice lies. When you observe instead of reacting, you have the opportunity to reflect on which action is more appropriate for the situation, instead of following a repetitive pattern. That pause is what transforms an automatic reaction into a conscious response. For example, when facing a stressful situation such as an argument or a challenge at work, the instinctive reaction can be defensive or emotional. However, by observing what is happening, both externally and within yourself, you create space to respond in a calmer and more intentional way. This simple act of observation strengthens your ability to choose what you truly want to express instead of being controlled by circumstances. Thus, the practice of observing before reacting not only promotes more clarity and inner peace, but also enhances your ability to navigate life's challenges with greater wisdom and presence. This new perspective is reflected in the balance between mind, body, and soul, as every action you take becomes an expression aligned with your true self. The harmony that emerges between your thoughts, emotions, and actions creates a sense of internal unity. This doesn't mean that challenges will no longer exist, but that your way of navigating them becomes more fluid, less forced. You move with life instead of fighting against its currents. The internal transformations begin to reflect in your outer world. Relationships become more meaningful, opportunities arise more naturally, and you start to feel that you are truly in control of your life without having to force outcomes. This flow and harmony are what truly characterize the life of a deliberate creator, where every moment is an opportunity to create something new and intentional. Thank you for embarking on this journey with me. If this video resonated with you, I invite you to like and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with others so they can benefit from this message. And don't forget to leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, reflections, and experiences. Thanks again for watching and for joining me. Take care and see you soon.